Luka's debut 132 to 113. All right, so let's talk about this. Jay Will, I know you were in that building last night in L.A. Give me your first impressions on what you saw out of LeBron and Luka.
So, BC, I know that Neymar is going back to Santos, and that's a crazy situation. I know the Eagles just won a Super Bowl, but I realized last night that the Lakers are probably the most interesting team in all of sports. Like, that's a fact. And LeBron saying in the huddle, don't fit in, fit out, goes to show you how he's thinking about leadership and how these two are thinking about collaborating and working together. Leg said it perfectly last night. They're dual threats as scorers and facilitators on both sides, and I think that makes it scary. What do we always talk about with LeBron? We talk about the minutes that he plays. Well, this allows LeBron to rest. I'm not saying there aren't going to be challenges they're going to have on the defensive end. They're going to have to play more small ball. But seeing these two, probably two of the smartest players we have in the game of basketball right now playing the same court together, it opens up the floor, and this offense is going to be prolific.
Monica, what'd you think?
I thought the offense is going to be thrilling. I thought the minutes, the split minutes that we saw, Luka was on the floor without LeBron and vice versa for stretches, is definitely going to give LeBron James a tremendous reprieve. But I can't help but think about this team defensively still right now. And I get it. Like, the position that you put defenders in, there was a moment in the third quarter where poor John Collins was literally trying to split Doncic and LeBron James. And I was like, oh, God, that's a terrible position to be in as a defender. But I got to see it continue to come together. I wasn't as concerned about the offense as most folks were when this trade went down. I'm really just concerned about this team defensively.
Would you give me your thoughts here on what you saw out of Luka?
Well, he looked tight early in this game. At one point, before even the first time out, he had to go over to the bench and ask for water. And I don't think it was because he was running so much. I think it was because his mouth was dry because he was so nervous. And I get it. I mean, he hadn't played in almost 2 months. Basically, he's played 2 games in 2 months. Then he comes into this situation where the entire city is looking for him. He didn't ask for this. This happened to him. So this adjustment is there. I'm not sure we learned a heck of a lot about their team. I actually think the biggest takeaway from the game, and look, this was a game against one of the worst teams in the league. They picked a perfect spot to bring him in. But was that Austin Reeves still was able to have a big game? One of the big challenges, I know everybody focuses on LeBron and Luka, and I get it. But one of the big challenges for J.J. Redick is to keep Austin Reeves going.
All right, Shay, I know we're only one game in, your Lakers squad. I know you stayed up for that one.
I did.
Do you feel like Luka and LeBron are the scariest duo in the West?
Oh, not yet. Molly, you admitted they played only one game. Now, if we're looking at them as an individual group, you look at LeBron James and what he's accomplished, you look at Luka and what he's accomplished, you'd have to say yes. But they haven't played together. What about JT and JB? What about Yoke and Murray? I want to see them play, and they look good together last night. I like what JJ did. He staggered their minutes a little bit. They had them on the court. They look really, really good together. We know these are two dominant offensive players in the NBA history. But I got to see them together more than one game. I think Luka only played like 24 minutes. I think LeBron played like 29 minutes. Let me see them get some minutes up under their belt, Stephen A. and Wendy. Let me see them get about 35 minutes. Let me see them in a tough ball game where they're having to play off of each other a lot more than what they did last night. But I'm not really willing to go there just yet. Individually, if you take LeBron's career, you take Luka's career, but you don't get to take them individually and then put them together and say, are they the scariest? I need to see them play a little bit more before I determine whether or not how scary they are.
Yeah. Wendy, I know you were locked in on this one.
Molly, the Lakers do a really good job of making moments feel big. They really lean into who they are at times, and they did a great job here. First off, probably the most important thing, they picked a perfect day for Luka to come back. The Utah Jazz right now are not a competitive NBA team. And so they put him in a position where there was not going to be stress on this game, and it was never a game after the first quarter. I thought they did a great job of easing him in. This game doesn't mean anything to me. This was not an important game. They played good. They're on a winning streak. There was way more pressure games to come, but the Lakers passed every single test in bringing Luka in to start his career there.
Stephen A?
All true. Nothing to dispute there. I will tell you that LeBron and Luka, however, when we asked the question, are they the scariest in the West? Of course not yet, but eventually they should be, if they are who we think they are. And let me give some breaking news. Wendy, you can step aside for this one because this is directed at Mr. Shea himself. I have given long, hard thought to this this debate that Shannon, Sharpe, and I have been going through, and it's going to be a long, long spring for him, as I've stated. But I am willing to concede when we talk about GOAT status. I've decided to declare that LeBron James is truly the GOAT for 40-year-olds, the greatest 40-year-old that the game of basketball has ever
there
seen.
You go.
So I just want to say that. I just want to say that he's the greatest 40-year-old that anybody has ever seen on a basketball court. And when you think about Luka being 25 years of age, yeah, eventually they should be the scariest. Their basketball IQs are off the chart. We know what they can do on the basketball court. They should be the scariest. But this season, I haven't given up on Jokic and Murray. I have not given up on that at all. That's going to stand. I'm going to stand on that for the time being. We can't even see anybody in Dallas with Kyrie and AD. AD already down. Okay. I mean, I got to think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and who's his Robin
Williams
is and stuff like that. That's right. Of course, Williams. But I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that right now, it's got to be Jokic and Murray until further notice to answer this question, because we haven't seen how LeBron and Luka will do together.
You see what he did, Molly?
What?
You see what Stephen A. did? Oh, I'll have to admit, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest 40-year-old. It's like when women say, well, Shannon, you're in great shape for a 50-year-old. I'm in great shape for any age. What's wrong with y'all? Talk about I'm in great shape to be 50. Don't do that. Stephen A., don't do that. You know what this man is. You know what he represents. How many consecutive games with at least 20 points at the age of 40? I know somebody could never.
It was a backhanded comment. He put the big in there.
I know somebody could never. You need to stop your nonsense. You need to stop that nonsense right now. We'll see what Luka and LeBron does. But Wendy, for the purposes of you being here, being the basketball savant that you are, I thought it was apropos that I started off the show today conceding that Shannon was right about something. I'm not going to say that often, but I would concede that he is right about LeBron at 40 being the greatest 40-year-old we've ever seen. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
Age ain't never been a number. Some of us would get better with age. Wendy?
I gotta give Stephen A. credit bringing the specter of Jordan into this conversation. Like that's the bonus point.
Because you know why? Because when you think about the word scary, I mean, who fit that more than Michael Jordan? I mean, what that brother did on the basketball court, he scared the living hell out of all the opposition. There wasn't no hugging and singing Kumbaya with the opponents day after day, night after night, drinking wine with them after the games and all that stuff. Oh, no, it wasn't none of that. Wasn't none of that.
He didn't scare Bird, McHale, and Parrish. He didn't scare them. Didn't scare Isaiah and the bad boy Pistons till they got old.
You mean Bird who called them God and Jim Shorts? You mean that Larry Bird? Is that what you're talking about?
Him.
Okay,
him.
Go ahead. I got all spring to get you with this. It's all right.
But in all seriousness, Shannon, obviously because you are a Lakers fan, how far do you want to see this team go?